in the on-deck circle, Enriquez Diaz. This is Two Men On with Van Nunley and Fred Slow.
Mike's hot.
Hey, yo! What it is, Duke City? You listen to Two Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. One Van Nunley here. Other side of the glass, Isaiah Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Depending on your outlook on your life and this program, good news and or bad news, no Fred Slow today.
This is true.
But Van and Zay, we got your back. We got all your NBA draft hot takes.
Oh, yeah. I'm always good for the NBA talk.
JJ Redick in the news. We're going to hit that at the very next segment.
We love Laker talk.
Zay explains the internet to Van later in the program. That should be a good one. I don't know stuff. Hawk Tua Tagovailoa in the 5 o'clock hour.
You can always count on you for the nickname.
MLB is halfway through. I've been waiting for a Tua story for the past week so I can drop Hawk Tua so bad. We got one today, baby. Let's go. MLB's halfway through. Aaron Judge is halfway to breaking his own record.
Not a shocker.
Guardians know how to spend more money wisely than anyone else. We got a special one for you in the 6 o'clock hour. We'll be giving you live reactions to the NBA draft. 5:30 segment, we're doing our draft preview. 5:45 segment draft preview. 6 o'clock Mountain Time, the NBA draft, live reacting. I think it's going to be a weird one today, Zay, but I'm going to save it for a proper preview. While we are going through the NBA draft and giving our live reactions to what's going down in the world of the National Basketball Association, we're talking Derek Jeter.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not talking on-the-field greatness. We're not talking about Mr. November. We're talking about the GOAT, Derek Jeter's horizontal exploits. And I'm not talking about diving for balls in the hole, giggity. Of course, we have our I-9 varsity. Of course, we have our Isham Dental soundbite of the day. But something's eating me up, Zay.
What could that be?
Not eating me up like I got to get it off my chest on this program. I'm literally being eaten alive by mosquitoes, Zay. I have a mosquito loose in my house for the last 2 days, and I can't track down this maniac.
He
is ruining my life, Zay.
Is he doing like the good old roach technique where he only like comes out in dark? Or
yes. While I'm at the dinner table eating a succulent Chinese meal,
okay,
he'll nip at my ankles. While I'm laying in bed, he'll like nibble on my elbows. When I'm on the couch watching Disney Plus's The Acolyte, not a paid endorsement, but I love it so much. When I'm sitting around watching my geeky Star Wars junk, I'm getting nibbled on. And here's the thing. He's sneaky, Zay.
He sounds like a smart guy.
He's not like sitting around and like drilling for oil. He's getting a little nibble. He's flying away. He's going and hiding. I don't know where he's hiding. I've only seen him twice in 2 days for like half a second out of the corner of my eye. And then I flail my arms around like a maniac, Zay.
Naturally.
I'm trying to grab him out of the air, even though I'm just going off of tracers, really. I'm going off of like I'm going off of his projected trajectory over what my drug-addled brain might think that he's flying to. I'm smacking myself every time, like the air conditioner comes on and a little gust of wind comes through there and tickles my arm. I'm smacking my arm like a maniac. This guy has turned me into a paranoid meth head in the span of 48 hours. I am an absolute mess, Zay.
It sounds like he's able to track your actions, and he's like started to calculate your every move. So he's going like oppo with everything you do.
No, exactly. He's tracking me like a itty bitty tiny dreadlock predator.
Now, is he one of those little ones that looks like a little gnat, or is he one of those big ones that just looks like terrifying?
No. If he was a big one, I'd feel him land. I would feel him penetrate my skin. He's one of these little light ones that I just have to like I mentioned, I was watching the Star Wars The Acolyte, and I'm just watching like all of my bare skin. And by the way, I wear pants now and long sleeves at night, completely ruining my evening vibe. I got these a single solitary mosquito in my house. It won't even let me relax. I can't wear my very, very light and delicate PJs. And when I say very, very light and delicate PJs, I mean just a pair of basketball shorts. I'm almost nude in my house all the time. I wear the least amount of clothes possible. And that is not ideal for me being comfortable when there's one rogue mosquito on the loose.
You know, what if you just get some bug spray and you just bug spray down every day before you enter your house? So then, although you're kind of conceding and it is your house and you're kind of sharing the alpha dog male persona with the mosquito, but you at least are not getting bit up. So you're conceding to the mosquito a little bit.
First off, I appreciate that. I've already sprayed in my home. My spray, if a random cockroach gets in the house, he's dead within minutes. There's no ants in my home. There's no random bugs in my home. There is one maniac tiny mosquito in my home. Zay, I'm not joking. I have more than 24 bites on me. Like I'm scratching and itching like some opioid junkie.
He's going to triple in size on you.
Yeah, he's growing in front of us. Eventually he's going to be big enough so I could feel him land. Because I can't even feel him land. I'm just paranoid, looking at my forearms and my ankles at all times, trying to get to smack the hell out of him if I ever get a chance. And I don't. He is sneaky.
You know, I've been very fortunate. I used to have a bad mosquito problem in Illinois when I lived there. But since I've been here in New Mexico, well, actually, when I was living up in Vegas, New Mexico, the mosquitoes there were pretty vicious. But in Albuquerque, they don't like me too much. Maybe it's because I'm not eating any green chili.
Okay, you're bringing the Midwest diet down here. Yeah, it tastes different.
Yes, and they're like, this guy doesn't eat any green chili. He's an alien.
You might be onto something because I'm perpetually eating green chili or sriracha or curry. Like I haven't had a bland meal in years. I haven't had a bland meal since last Thanksgiving. Like I eat spice every day of my life. You might be onto something.
Okay, so there it is. So if you cut back on the green chili, possibly the mosquitoes will leave you alone. Now that's only speaking from experience because I don't eat green chili. So it's not like I've eaten it and then got bit up to know, but
okay, quit outing yourself. Fred Slow gets enough flack on this program for not enjoying green chili. I don't want my wonderful producer Isaiah Johnson to catch all that hate as well.
Well, we got to see if he gets eaten up by mosquitoes. If he doesn't have a mosquito issue, then that's two people that have signed the petition.
Look, I got your out, Zay. This is what you say. You say, I like green chili for the flavor, not the heat.
Okay.
You guys just make stuff too hot.
Okay.
So when you say like that, it sounds reasonable. It's a nice gray area. People be like, oh, okay, I get it. Some people just don't like it too hot. And then you don't have to say you hate green chili. You don't have to say you hope New Mexico falls into the ocean. You don't have to say anything like that.
Well, to be honest, I have had green chili a few times, and I enjoyed it. The first time was in an enchilada. It's green chili enchiladas.
Okay.
And I feel like there's enough cheese and other ingredients in there to kind of take over. And then I went to a Whataburger one time, and I asked them for a bacon cheeseburger, and they put green chili on the cheeseburger without me asking. But for some reason, it was like a game I was playing with myself to see if I could finish the sandwich without tapping out, and it was like a competitive thing. and I began competing with myself to finish the sandwich. So if I'm feeling competitive, then I'm down for some green chili. But if I'm just chilling and wanting to enjoy a sandwich, it's almost like when you're trying to relax and like your friend walks up and starts shadow boxing in front of you. Like, dude, please, just not right now. I'm just trying to relax. I don't need this spice in my life right now.
Well, I'm an addict. Like, there's no way I'm quitting green chili. There's no way I'm quitting like sriracha and super hot Asian spices. I'm not quitting spicy curry. Like, I need it in my life. Like, it warms my existence.
Yeah, you're not alone.
It's important. It's at the center of my being is having spicy food almost every day. And if that's the only reason this mosquito won't leave me alone, well, I will make that concession. I'm not going to trade mosquito bites for lovely and delicious green chili or sriracha or whatever he's attracted to inside my human body. But he's a little criminal mastermind. He's a genius.
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't sit around and be greedy. Like, he'll just pop on me for a second, just get one little taste. Like, he's not ripping giant rails. He's just doing little key bumps on me.
He's microdosing.
Yeah, he's microdosing on my blood, Zay. That's exactly what he's doing. And that's why he gets away with it. If he ever got greedy and just sat there and just sucked my blood, like when Tom Cruise was eating that rat in Interview with the Vampire, if he did it like that, then I would have noticed and I would have smacked him and he wouldn't be with us anymore.
So answer me this: what do you think is smarter, mosquitoes or flies?
Well, I mean, in this anecdotal story I'm telling right now, it's got to be mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah.
It seems like flies are also very vengeful, and flies, once they realize they're onto them, it seems like they kind of feast on anger. And I wonder if that's what this guy's doing to you.
Yeah, flies. I don't know if you know this, the story of Icarus who flew too close to the sun, but every single fly is like that. Flies like try to buzz in your ear and be annoying, and it's always too much. They always fly too close to the sun, and eventually it's like Fran Drescher. Like, everyone knows she's annoying, but if she just does it too much, if she keeps it at that level of 7, like, she's tolerable. If she turns it up to 11 with her Fran Drescher-ness, we're just going to turn off the television.
Yeah.
Same way with flies. If you keep getting too close to my ear, I'm going to get you.
Yes, and flies do that. While mosquitoes, I also feel like what's hard about mosquitoes, and I'm sure you're experiencing this now, is they change direction extremely well. Like, they'll be going a smooth little pace one way, and then right before you go to swipe at them, boom, they just jolt in a different direction, and you lose sight of them. Much harder to track down than flies.
The U.S. government, the U.S. military needs to track the flight patterns of mosquitoes, because the one I got in my house is indestructible. He can't be swatted. He never goes away. There's nothing I can do to kill him. People are trying to kill J.J. Redick, though, Zay.
Oh, why?
He's getting swatted in the media. Allegedly, just like I want to carpet bomb my house with mosquito spray, allegedly he used to carpet bomb his whole existence with N-bombs.
Oh, no, JJ, no.
And I don't believe a word of it. And we're going to talk all about that when we get back. New coach of the LA Lakers, JJ Redick talk when we get back. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. this city. 2 men on. 95.9 FM, AM 610 Sports Animal.
We came to play. We came to play. We came to play. I'm a tiger. Yep, you've been fired.
You're the coach of the LA Lakers. Say you gotta know every camera, every microphone is going to be on you at all times. And more than that, everything you've ever said on a microphone, everything you've ever said to a camera will be dug up. And apparently, JJ Redick isn't the most culturally sensitive person.
Allegedly. Okay.
Fans have been digging up a lot of naughtiness by JJ Redick. One that fans didn't have to dig up as Duke alum, and this is the first I'm hearing of this human being, Halima Nash.
Okay. She
dropped
on related to Steve Nash?
I would doubt it.
Okay.
Because there is a vast difference in melanin levels. Could be by marriage. I don't know. Halima Nash, Duke graduate, says, and this was dropped at 10 o'clock yesterday on X, I've only been called the N-word to my face by a white man once in my life, and it was on the campus of Duke University while I was doing work with the basketball team. And today he was named the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. What a world. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
And look, when someone gets a big promotion, whether it's in the sports world or business world or entertainment world, they get a big old paycheck. And we see this way too often now. And again, before I go on this tirade, believe women. Wait till the accusations are refuted. Wait till if something is worse than an allegation of somebody saying something 20 years ago, if it's something court-worthy, wait for the trial. Wait for the evidence to be presented by both sides. Believe the accusers. But there's always a rat. We cover this on this program way too often. That when somebody gets a big-ass paycheck, when somebody's back in the limelight, I don't know, like someone who was just named head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers and got a 4-year deal for millions and tens of millions of dollars, there's gonna be something coming out, some allegation.
Yeah, like, for example, I'm still waiting on mine to hit me from when I got promoted to being the full-time producer here. I'm surprised. I'm surprised no one's come for me. The he say, she say story.
Yeah, hashtag MeTooZay, 505-246-0610. Anybody have any accusations against Zay, whether they're true or not?
Whoa,
text the program.
Whoa. I can't screen the text. Call in and then I'll decide if we're going to let you on.
You're like, oh no, it's Shirley. This one's correct. Like, yeah, anytime somebody's back in the limelight, especially if somebody's in the limelight and they're getting a big ass check, this stuff's going to happen all the time. And I'm not saying whether it's true or not, but accusations immediately came out about JJ Redick using racial slurs while at Duke University to a woman of color's face. She goes on to say, for context, this was years ago, and I'm a believer that we all have space to grow, especially from our college-level maturity. We live in a world where these exchanges happen, and the intersection of race and privilege and lack of accountability all collided with that presser. This is hard for me to digest. This is hard for me to believe. Again, if this actually did happen, JJ, I hope you and your friend group, especially your teammates, pulled you to the side, got you together, schooled you on what it's like, the history of that word means to people.
I feel like this is one of those situations where he's new to the position, and like you said, wait till there's a trial or something like that. And in this situation, I think all we can do is we sit and we wait to see if anybody else steps up with another story, or maybe there's like an old teammate that hasn't had any spotlight for a little while, and he decides he wants a little spotlight and he knows a story about JJ dropping that word somewhere.
Sure.
Like if multiple things start coming up, then there could be a little bit validity to it.
Right.
As far as right now, I'm sure she also knows the risk she's taking by coming out with this. Obviously, everybody's going to come out and say, you know, either it's true or it's not true, but she's obviously doesn't care about that. So either there's a personal vendetta. Maybe he dumped her or didn't listen to her cat call or something, or maybe this is a true occurrence where he actually did say it. But I just don't see how she would be the only person that he would say it to. So he may be the only person that she claims that was a white male that said it to her, but I would see it as a rare occurrence if, you know, she was the only person who he dropped that word to.
Well, Zay, funny you bring that up.
Uh-oh.
Because one of JJ Redick's exes says that she has receipts. Back in 2014,
No.
she held JJ Redick hostage on the interwebs and said she had old emails from her then boyfriend, JJ Redick, where he used the N-word in emails and tried to extort him for money. And then it eventually all blew over because they found out it wasn't true. She couldn't produce the emails. It was all hearsay. It was allegedly a money grab. And this is the same lady who allegedly had an affair with Shaq, and she tried to sue Shaquille O'Neal, and then the judge threw it out because she kept lying about the case, and there was no evidence whatsoever. So she's just trying to bag and extort basketball players.
So then you got okay. So then you got two girls. Okay, so even though both stories seem unlikely, it's almost like if there's like some type of math equation, like 5 false stories equal 1 true, or something like that.
Sure.
Like if these girls have no correlation with each other, it's like, why is that the angle? But I don't know. When I was thinking this earlier, JJ, he doesn't come off as somebody that is racist or would say that word, but he does come off, as we saw in the press conference, he does come off as someone that when he feels strongly about something, or if he's emotional about something, he's not holding his tongue at all. So like I don't think he's got that in him. But if there was any bit of it in his head that did feel a certain way to say that word,
yeah,
I can see him being like an angry enough guy to say it, and in the heat of the moment, not really care about the repercussion, because we just saw him F-bomb at a press conference.
Yeah, multiple F-bombs in a press conference. One of them being, I don't give a bleep about what people think about me. That's okay. If someone who's willing to say that with a camera and a bunch of microphones are on them, I don't give a bleep what people say about me, they probably have less of a filter when cameras and microphones aren't around. That is pretty damning. But look, do you know how many people at Duke University look exactly like JJ Redick?
Oh yeah.
Thousands of skinny white dudes with shaved faces and parted haircuts are walking around the campus of Duke, and I guarantee you, in that part of the country, a good number of them are freely dropping bombs.
Super.
You know it. I think this might be a case of stolen identity. He's misidentified. It was the wrong skinny white guy wearing a Duke t-shirt.
And it has to be the case, because if it's me, now I'm a very detailed person.
Right.
But like when it comes to explaining a story, I like to go into the details. So for her, if she's going to make an accusation like this, even if it was me, I would have at least added some sort of sentence or something that added context or actual rundown of what happened. But she just says he said the word to her. So in my mind, when I first read it, I know this is unrealistic, but I just imagine her just walking to class with her book bag innocently. He just walks up to her and boom, drops the word.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, and it's not that if they were arguing that it would be validated, but the way she explains it is like, what, he just said it for no reason? Like someone dared him to do it or something?
Cut him off in the lunch line? Like, how did this go down? A guy who's been in locker rooms with brothers his whole life. That's the racist one? A guy who grew up, played in high school, played in college, played in pros, with brother after brother after brother, best friends, talking basketball, sleepovers, basketball trips, vacations, over and over. This is the guy? This is the one?
Yeah, he seems very like well balanced, and if you show him something one time, then that's what his perception will always be. So like, I mean, and that's what I was going to say earlier also. The worst case scenario is that maybe he was so cool with a certain group of people that like they almost get, because some guys agree or disagree, they get a pass within their friend group, and I know it, and I don't know if they haven't specified if he was dropping like the R or just saying it like the casual friendly version. I don't hear in his voice that he would casually say that word. Like, he doesn't talk with like a slang or anything. But the worst case scenario is he was with some guys that, because they looked at him and could tell, like, this guy isn't judgy. He's very, prove me wrong. You show me something, I'll believe it. Non-pushover. Because a lot of times those are the guys who get the pass within the groups.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on the Gulf Coast of Texas. I had black friends growing up. Every generation of my life, I've had black friends say, "Hey man, if it's just us, you got the impasse, man. Don't worry about it. If we're listening to music, you got
that's the big one.
You got the impasse, man. If we're talking about social issues, and I still don't use it. I never will. I swear to God, I never will." And JJ Redick had to be in that same situation. It's like, "Hey, JJ, when it's just us in the locker room, got the impasse."
Right.
But there is no way. LeBron James spent months with this guy, one-on-one, doing a podcast, like secretly interviewing him for the Lakers coaching job. You don't think LeBron and JJ Redick were cruising around and LeBron put on some Kendrick and it's just like, "I'm gonna see if he says it. Let me see if he says it.
Right.
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna check him out. Let's vet him right now."
And like you said,
puts on all right. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if he does it.
and you, like you said earlier, with like the locker rooms. I know football's a different sport. Yeah. But even guys like Nick Bosa and Joey Bosa, they're not getting away with it. Like even their teammates are like Nick and Joey Bosa. No. They're exposed a little bit. Yeah. And you haven't heard any stories like that about JJ. And I think if this was real, there's some teammates somewhere would be bitter enough that would come out and say something. So I guess we can just sit back and wait. But the story's been out for a couple days.
Yeah, we're on day 3 here. And I waited to talk about this for a couple of days to let it develop. But I don't see it, man.
Yeah, and these are business days here. It's still nothing.
Yep, we got a developing story here. And if any of this can be substantiated, if anything of this is true, he will be fired immediately.
Oh, yeah.
You can't.
Wouldn't that be insane? And then the Lakers would look terrible about, not fully evaluating their coach. And would they really fire him?
And who wants to be coach number 3? Yeah. Dan Hurley already said no. And whether that was positioning or not, I think it was a work. I don't think they ever had legit intentions of hiring Dan Hurley. But even if he did or not, like, who wants to be the 3rd coach? One guy doesn't want to be there. The other guy allegedly dropped a bunch of M-bombs years ago. Who wants to be the 3rd one? You got to deal with LeBron stuff. You got to deal with Los Angeles. You got to deal with all the Hollywood crap that comes with it. They'll never get a coach again. It'll have to be LeBron James.
And you're right. And you know what I also heard earlier? I was watching the press conference with JJ and Rob Pelinka, And one of the reporters asked him basically like about Dan Hurley, and you could tell JJ gets like slightly uncomfortable, but Rob and JJ both confirmed that prior to Dan Hurley being interviewed and offered the job, during that process and after the process, it looked like Dan Hurley was the setup because JJ and Rob were communicating the whole entire time. So like, how are you guys, like, you're telling me, oh, we're communicating the whole time, and they're making it seem like, oh, it's not anything personal, there's no bad blood here. But it's like, come on, why would you be communicating with JJ through the whole process unless
Sure.
like, yeah, so today's the day, we're gonna offer him, stay cool. I don't know. I think we're both correct on that. I think it was a setup.
We'll see. I mean, the more information will come out. These allegations are way too strong for a coach of the National Basketball Association just to cruise on by with this. From friend of the show, Michael Johnson.
My father.
When JJ Redick was arguing with Stephen A. Smith, it looked like he wanted to say it. All right, that's a mic drop. We're out of here. When we get back, Zay explains the internet to Van. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Cravings Value from Taco Bell. 10 items each.
program, Duke City. Listen to 2 Men On 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Animal. You know, friends of the show, for a 42-year-old man, for a cisgendered, middle-aged white man, I'm a pretty cool guy.
Okay.
I'm a pretty hip guy. I'm pretty up to date on the cool stuff. I kind of know what's going on a little bit until it angers me, and then I get older by the second. I get frustrated and things piss me off that shouldn't. I don't know why, and this is me not being up to date. This is not being hip. This is me not being the cool guy.
Okay.
I don't understand why video game streamers are so popular. Dude, I don't get it. Why are you watching a guy play video games when you can just play the video game?
Now I've been through periods where I was obsessed with watching Call of Duty streamers. And the reason is because there's so many different like tricks and things that you can learn from watching other people who are quote unquote professionals at the game play. Like I personally got a lot better at Call of Duty just when I started to watch other people play, because it's like I've played the game myself, and now that I know what the game looks like when I go watch somebody else and I watch them dominate, I'm able to like compute backwards. Okay, he probably did this to go here, he did this to do that. So it's all a strive to be great at the game. And then that's part A. And then part B is you got your kids who either can't afford to get the game system themselves, or they just don't actually care enough to play, but the streamer is entertaining or the streamer is funny. So that commentary and that engagement makes it easier to watch.
Look, I can kind of understand social media personalities, people who put out review videos or make their own skits or do their little stand-up-y quick things, their little snippets of doing something funny. That I understand. The patience of the younger generation frustrates me, that things are only funny 30 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
But like, just watching someone else play video games, this is just a complete disconnect for me. Right? Which the way you unpackage it, the way you explain it, sure, I get it a little bit. But if you're stuck on a part in a video game, wouldn't you just Google how to get past it? Like, instead of like watching a guy for hours, you just look it up.
So this is true, but also there's like an appreciation for the game, especially nowadays that the graphics and the whole experience of the gameplay has gotten better. It's almost like, imagine like a football game. The whole goal is to have highlight plays, highlight touchdowns, do cool things, because it's entertaining to not only play, but to see, because the visual is cool.
No, Zay, you play to win the game.
Yes, but me personally, I could say there's a lot of times where my motivation to play Madden was just because I wanted that feeling of having a highlight play, embarrassing somebody against another person.
Okay.
So when you're watching streamers, typically a streamer is going to be pretty skilled at the game. You're watching them do cool things, perform tricks, and like you're watching them do things that you can't do yourself. Not so as like a story mode, but like a multiplayer mode or like a fast-paced, skill-based game.
Okay. This helps a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to still sit on my rocking chair on the front porch and yell at clouds in this moment. I don't think I can be swayed very much from my line of thinking on this issue. And the reason I bring this up is a streamer, is a Twitcher, a Discorder.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you, just a streamer? What's the blanket term for someone who plays video games on the internet?
A streamer.
Just a streamer. Okay.
Yes.
Whether they're on Twitch or Discord or whatever they're doing.
Game, streamer, gamer.
Okay. All right. One guy rose to national prominence, got wildly popular, got a job with the 49ers, and was fired in disgrace. And me and Zay will tell you all about it when we get back. More streamer talk?
Yes.
On 2 Men On, 95.9 FM AM 610, the sports animal.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. Backstage. Find a store near you at Macy'sBackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
Westbound Paseo, you have backups from I-25 to Coors. Westbound 40 is slow moving, starting from Carlisle to Coors. And northbound 25, you are seeing tail lights starting around Gibson, lasting to Lomas. Southbound 25, you are slow moving, starting around San Antonio to Comanche.
This report is brought to you by United Way of North Central New Mexico, celebrating 90 years of caring. United Way of North Central New Mexico is committed to building a better tomorrow. Our Rising Together initiative promotes educational attainment and family stability along a cradle-to-career spectrum. Visit uwncnm.org to get involved today. If you see an accident, call the Traffic Tracker hotline at 767-9167. Brought to you by American Home Furniture and Mattress. Make yourself at home. Shop in-store or online at AmericanHome.com. I'm Michael Carlisle from the 96.3 News Radio KKOB Traffic Center.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. Credit Knicks president Leon Rose. He's done the unthinkable by putting the Knicks in a position to seriously swing for a championship. New York made that aggressive swing last night by landing another Villanova grade in Mikal Bridges for 4 unprotected first-round picks and then some. Now following the Bridges deal, the question becomes, can the Knicks keep both OG Anunoby and Julius Randle? And if one is the odd man out, I think it's Julius getting traded and OG resigning with New York. I'm Zach Gelb.
Congratulations to Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck of the
back to the program, Duke City. 2 men on 95.9 FM AM 610, the sports animal. Isaiah, I want to say personally, thank you for explaining stream culture to me.
Uh-huh.
The reason I brought that up is because a person who I know you're familiar with, because I quizzed you on this earlier.
Yes.
Dr. Disrespect.
Was being a little too disrespectful.
Yes. Lived up to the name. So he is a streamer who plays a game, and apparently he's the most popular at people watching him play the game.
He's one of them. Me personally, I'm very top heavy within my favorites.
Okay.
But he is 100% up there.
Okay, this guy is so popular, being a video game player and streamer and a huge Niners fan, that the Niners attached him to their brand by making hype videos saying that Dr. Disrespect is their new QB2. He got to announce a pick at the NFL draft. He's in commercials. He's on the sideline. He cuts hot videos, promo videos. Anyways, he's in quite hot water because he was accused of soliciting a minor.
Oh, gosh. The worst thing you could be accused of doing.
I think you're right, Zay. It's the worst thing an adult human being can do in their planetary existence is solicit a minor. You are correct. But allegedly, he was caught soliciting a minor, and obviously the Niners ended the relationship.
Yes.
He's no longer a representative of the organization. And in his own defense, he said, I wasn't trying to solicit a minor.
Oh, gosh.
I was just sexting.
Oh, gosh.
That's not better.
And it's not even the point, brother.
That's you're committing what me and Zay thinks is the worst crime a human being can commit. And I'll say it's worse than murder because the victim has to live through it now. You can't say I was just sexting a minor.
Oh, gosh.
And allegedly, it could be as young as 10 years old. This man is 40. A 40-year-old video game
Are you serious?
playing streamer. Yeah, he's 40. Look, 49ers. With all of these allegations notwithstanding, you thought it was a good idea to hire a 40-year-old mulleted video game streamer who wears sunglasses inside. You thought this is the brand you want to attach to.
No, I legitimately thought the guy was about my age, maybe a little younger.
Yeah, what? Why does he love San Francisco so much? Did he think the name of the team was the 40 Miners? This is awful on so many levels.
He's a 49 god.
Freaky ass. But I mean, he fits the description of his exact behavior.
Yeah, gamer, he had 49.
If a child was going to draw a crude, rudimentary perp drawing, they would draw this guy.
Oh, gee.
Wearing glasses inside, a hat pulled too low, a mullet.
Freaky eye gamer, he a 49 god.
Oh, man, this is awful.
And then, like, you imagine and if I'm correct, they said this was as early as 2017.
Yes, it's been going on. How can you be in the public light and then this keeps going and going on?
My goodness. this guy, I can't believe he's actually 40. I thought that he just had a very distinct image. So even as someone in his mid-20s, I was convinced this was the appropriate action.
You should have known. Again, human beings look a lot of different ways. I don't judge people by their appearance. I mean, it helps on this program. I'm not going to judge you for what you look like. Unless you look like this. You should have seen this coming, 49ers organization.
And I will say, as far as streaming and gaming is concerned, he definitely...
When asked to comment, he says he's going on vacation with his family, but he'll be back online. I'm not bleeping going anywhere.
Yeah.
Jail. I think jail. Prison. You'll be going to prison if these allegations are true.
You're cooked, brother.
1 hour in the books. Hell of a start to the program. Say we're talking NFL, NBA, and a little mid-season MLB in the 5 o'clock hour. Varsity coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. Ish and Dental soundbite of the day, and of course, live reactions to the NBA draft. Hawk to a Tagovailoa talk when we get back. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Clear.
Number 2, men on, Van Nunley and Fred Slow. And in the on-deck circle, Amory Castillo.
This is Two Men On with Van Nunley and Fred Slow.
Check it out, check it out.
Mike's hot.
Time to rock. It's time to rock. And yo, the party don't stop.
Welcome back to Two Men On.
It's time to rock. It's time
95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
It's time to rock. It's time to rock. We go hard.
Sportiest of all animals, I would say.
It's time to rock. It's time to
like
rock.
We got 3 hours on a Wednesday. You're not used to this during baseball season. Day game today.
Yeah, I was rolling in and I heard put on 95.9 and I heard Josh Sushan on the air. I was like,
Sushi Boy at a day game. I rolled by there for like an hour. I caught like innings 3 through 6 maybe. I don't miss day baseball games at Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park. I love it. Little oat soda, handful of nuts, watch a little day baseball. One of my favorite things on earth to do. Thanks a friend of the show for throwing some high fives at the program at the game today. Topes are 2-0, baby. Albuquerque Isotopes are 2-0 to start the second half of the season. I'm going to ask Josh Sushan all about it tomorrow on the program from Sadie's on 4th Street.
I was going to say, Van, before we dive into your upcoming subject, friend of the show, Lenny, did call a segment earlier. He was wanting to talk a little bit with you real fast before you switch topics, if you would so allow.
Okay, friend of the show, Lenny. Always a great day when OG Fought Lenny calls in. What's happening, my dude?
Well, first, let's go with the Laker coach. If he did what she's alleging, it happened 18, 19 years ago. Over that time, have you heard one thing negative about him?
There have been other allegations. Two earlier allegations didn't seem valid.
Fully substantiated.
He did say a disparaging remark about Chinese people on video, and that was well documented. But I agree with you. He seems like a stand-up guy, and my point earlier in the program was he's been in locker room after locker room, and he's got the thumbs up from every team he's ever been on. So I think that's...
It's not just that he's that. He's doing a podcast with the player that runs the teams.
Yeah.
LeBron. If he actually was saying disparaging remarks against African Americans, do you think that LeBron will hook up with him in any capacity?
How good of a coach does he think he is?
How good of a coach?
Yeah.
Not as good as you and me?
I think if LeBron thinks he's the next coming of Pat Riley, he doesn't care.
He's not the next coming of Pat Riley. He's going to be in over his head, and when he realizes after this season that LeBron's going to be 41, AD hasn't played 2 consecutive seasons in a row above 70 games ever in his career, and they have no draft picks.
We do have pick
so
5 for
so Monty Williams is sitting at home. He's probably the happiest that can be. 6 years, $65 million to sit at home.
Yeah, I mean, does he have a non-compete? Because I would just go on a permanent golf vacation and not even look for another job.
Yeah, and then you still got, the coach that was fired from Milwaukee when they were 33 and 14, and we saw how good Doc Rivers did after he took over the team.
Sure.
So, real quick for tonight, congratulations to the Knicks for setting the record for the biggest draft haul for a player who never made an all-sourcing.
Yeah, apparently they are the Villanova's Thanos, just collecting all the
jersey. They just called my friend up. I'm going to have a jersey and it's going to say the Villanova Knicks with the 4 numbers on the back. Because I'm a Knicks fan, but that was just a serious overpay. But at the same time, you're going to pay what you feel is worth it for you.
Sure.
He is a Tom Thibodeau type player.
Yeah, 100%.
He has not missed a game since high school.
It's wild.
Ever. Okay? He can play 40 minutes a night and not even break a sweat.
Yeah, and now that Thibodeau's got a hold of him, he's playing 48 a night.
And then, that trade wouldn't have worked out if Anobi didn't sign today with the Knicks just now for 5 years and $212 million.
Good money.
So the draft is in 50 minutes. I'm going to make 2 quick predictions.
Hit me.
Phoenix did a deal, or Houston did a deal with the Nets to get Phoenix's picks to Houston, and the Nets got their picks reverted back to them from Houston.
Right.
Houston now controls Phoenix's pick. Watch if Kevin Durant doesn't get traded tonight.
Lenny, I think this is going to be one of the most exciting NBA drafts of draft history. I bet some big names are on the move, and people be switching
and I'm
spots.
going to give a couple other ones. The Knicks can't sign Hartenstein and keep Robinson. The Knicks are going to take 24, 25, and possibly 38 and trade up to either get Edney or if Keenan drops beyond 7.
I love it. I mean, if you don't have a lottery pick and you don't think you got your guy, trade those picks. Like
they don't need back-end rookies. And if Edney is available at 15, overtake the Lakers who might draft him. Then you got Edney and Hartenstein, you can trade Robinson.
Yeah, I don't hate that either.
I say we put you.
And the other one is watch the Spurs possibly jump up to number 1.
Oh.
To get either Alex Sarr to play with his teammate from France and play center, or maybe trade up to 2 or 3 and get Clean and their center.
I think Alex Sarr is trying to pull an Eli Manning move here and not go number 1. So I think they're going to have an even better chance of grabbing him. What I think the Spurs are going to do is trade all their picks for a NBA All-Star.
So if you have the 4th and 8th pick and you go to number 1 and go, we want number 1 for 4 and 8, this isn't a great draft, but I would take 4 and 8 for number 1. And maybe a second next year just to say, okay, I want something a little bit more because the Knicks went off the rail last night.
Yeah, I think I'll go the other way with it. I think the Spurs trade 4 and 8 to the Hawks for Trae Young. And Atlanta just burns the whole thing to the ground and starts over again. And Murray goes to somebody else.
Or Murray goes back to the Spurs in the trade.
Sure. Yeah. Either one. Or both.
But I think that they're going to try to blow up the Suns. And I think that's why Houston made that trade, because if Durant goes to Houston, it's not a bad deal. But Houston has a lot of draft capital. What if they offered enough to get a Devin Booker?
That's what I was going to say. Stephen A. Smith isn't the most credible person, but he says that Houston reportedly is a little bit more interested in Devin Booker than KD.
And then at some point, the Oklahoma City Thunder has to trade their 95 first-round draft picks. They have 18 draft picks over the next, 9 years? In the first round. You know, are they doing an expensive franchise back to Seattle?
Unless
they need to make a trade too and pick up some depth. But it's going to be a lot of players, I think, moving tonight. The only thing I don't like with the NBA is that the players that have to opt into their contract opt in after the draft. Somehow they need to get together with the CBA and the opt-in date has to be before the draft, so teams are in a better situation to make a trade on draft day.
Hey, the salary cap and money is made up. They can move around money so easy to cover these giant contracts. It don't even matter.
Today, as an example on how to opt in today, because it was the cutoff time, it would be easier for Paul George to be traded tonight. But the problem that the Clippers are running into is that age 38-year-old. They cannot offer him a 5-year contract
if
the player turns 38 during the length of the contract.
Yeah, I think he's as good of a chance as anybody to be on the move tonight, too. I bet a bunch of big-name players will be on the move tonight. There are a lot of teams with some serious draft capital, not just this year, but in the coming years, that some of these dudes are in win-now mode. And I'm of the opinion of bleep them picks. Like, if you don't
I could see Paul George ending up in Philly.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because Tobias Harris is leaving. They're not going to re-sign him. He'll go somewhere.
You think that'll happen tonight, or you think that'll happen?
Well, Paul George has to opt in the 29th. But if they get a sense that Paul George is going to opt in and they have to trade him, why not trade him tonight in the Philly if they have a backdoor deal? And we know there's always backdoor communication with the players and other teams. You think Paul George would have a problem going to play with Embiid and Maxey?
Oh gosh, no.
No, he'd love to be back. I think the only thing that's going to keep him in the Clippers is their new stadium. You need star power.
If they're only offering him a 3-year deal, he doesn't want that because that only brings him to his age 37 season. He wants that 4-year deal. And if you see the deal in Moby got to me for $5,220 or $212, you know he's not going to take a 3-year deal. But the Moby's getting $42.5 million a year.
I mean, I could see him being on the Knicks too. Why not just get everyone available?
Yeah, sure. They don't have the money for that. And then personally, just because of the age of all their players, I don't like Paul George. He's 34. The oldest Nick is 29.
Oh yeah, and if Paul George and the Knicks, and that would maybe give Brunson some like help, not only just in general, but not only having to go out and be the only person that can create his own shot. Maybe he can stay healthier.
But Brunson now, as much as Mikal Bridges, he's going to be their shooting guard. Brunson's going to be fine with the backup point guard the Knicks have, and if they're all healthy. Because if the Knicks were all healthy for this playoff run, I think they could have made it to a championship.
Ooh.
I agree completely. I think
you can't win when you have 5 players that are hurt, that are your starters.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they were overachieving as far as they got. And they only did it because Brunson was playing out of his gourd.
Right. But next season, with what they have right now, I'm just going to make an early prediction. They're in the championship next year. Over Boston.
Yeah, I think it's Celtics, Knicks next year, and Celtics will beat them again, but they'll still get there.
Yeah. But the only way this trade works for the Knicks, they have to at least win one championship in the next 5 years. That's worthless.
And I think they will. I think the Knicks will get one in the next 5 years. Go crazy,
and
Knicks
the other one to keep an eye on, in case the Knicks don't want to keep him, Julius Randle in the move. Because I would rather have a Moby playing power forward over Randle.
As a Knicks fan, how do you feel about Randle? Because I'm a Lakers fan. I remember when he was on our team, and it's just sometimes when he had the ball, it just felt like the possession was over. Like, you already know what's going to happen. He's going to force a shot.
His line has gone down, so he's not as bad as Luka Doncic. But he wants to control it. It took him a while to assimilate to the fact that Brunson is going to run the team and control the ball. But he doesn't play the defense that Moby plays. So Moby may only give you 15 points, but how many points does he stop versus Randle?
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have a huge contract next time it's up. Are you going to pay him the next time? You want to let him use him for 1 year and let him walk?
Who are you going to pick?
Oh, Brunson.
Oh, for sure, Brunson.
Right. So why not? He has 1 year left in his deal. Package him with one of your picks you have tonight. Trade him off.
I like it.
I mean, just today, in the span of one calendar day, the Knicks went from plus 1,600 title favorites to plus 900. They went from the 13th most likely team to the 5th most likely team in the span of 1 day.
But that odds came out before Nobi signed it.
No, that's with Anobi.
Oh, that is? Okay,
Yeah.
well, now they'll sign O'Shea,
Yeah.
Hartenstein, and O'Shea Robinson.
Yeah, and they're gonna pull in somebody else, whether they keep Randall or not. They're going for somebody else.
The Knicks are one of
And the other one that you could watch tonight, Mark Williams, the center from Charlotte, going to the Knicks.
They're going to keep reloading. They're not done.
The Knicks are one of the.
No, they're not done, but they can't sign. They can't have Hartenstein and Robinson both making 16 to 18 million and carve up the center position at 32 million.
I feel like the Knicks is like, as soon as they just get a little bit of star power, I feel like they can then turn into what we believe the Lakers are, where it's like, oh, if you're a free agent, you're going to want to go there. And a lot of the reason the Knicks weren't able to get free agents is because it seemed like there wasn't the best culture there. but last year changed a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like if they just
that's because somebody must have gotten James over here and told him to shut up.
That always helps.
He's busy with his facial recognition program, throwing fans out of the list and with the story in Vegas, but he's leaving the Knicks alone and the Rangers alone.
Jerry needs to take notes.
That's not going to happen.
Nice. Vinny, thanks for the call.
That's why you're going to end up losing Prescott in the offseason and get nothing in return because he has a no trade and they can't,
We're going to get Shedeur. We're going to get Shedeur.
Okay.
Lenny, we're up against it. Great call, as usual. Appreciate you being a friend of the show. I think at least half of your predictions are coming true tonight because I agree with a couple of them already. When we get back to a talk, how much is he worth? More sports and sports-adjacent content when we get back. You listen to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by FEMA.
Duke City. 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, 610 AM, the Sports Animal. You can find us on Instagram at TalkABQ. Do you want to see Zay's beautiful face? Go TalkABQ. FacebookLive.com. Instagram Live. YouTube Live. Find us at TalkABQ, TalkABQ, on all of your social medias. You don't just have to listen, you can watch. You can't make it now, or you're listening already in the future. Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Apple, we're everywhere. Can't catch us live, can't catch us on the radio. We're everywhere, baby. Allegedly, the rumor mill's heating up. Tua Tagovailoa.
Ooh, that was the best pronunciation I've heard.
Or as we will call him moving forward, Tua will not be offered a contract in the Trevor Lawrence or Jared Goff 55 million per year range. This is wild.
So help me out. So this means okay, so what news exactly broke? Are the Dolphins, did they tell him look, you're not getting that much?
All right, this is all rumors. This is all allegedly. Hasn't came out officially yet what the Dolphins have offered him. But he's not first tier, right? Tua, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not CJ Stroud. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Justin Herbert. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not this super elite guy. But of the second group, he's as good as anybody. If you can't have one of those top 5, top 6 guys, you will easily take Tua.
Yeah, he's not like a Dak Prescott or anything. So
yeah, he's not mid. He's better than mid.
No, I do think there's a lot that goes into the Tua situation. And I mentioned this earlier about a month ago when we were talking about CeeDee Lamb and him wanting his contract. And I learned recently that athletes do feel a sense of entitlement to back pay. So not only can Tua maybe put out the fact that he's produced very well, but he at one point, we were wondering if he was going to retire. We were wondering if this guy was going to be able to keep playing because of all the injuries he was enduring. And a big part of it was the Dolphins training staff mishandling him and the coaching staff, putting him in harm's way. And we never heard him say anything. We never heard him throw the team under the bus. It was always everybody else. So I think that the team owes him a decent amount of guaranteed money because they put him in danger a lot in his earlier time in his career. And no, that's not a good reason to say, go ahead and give this QB, a max contract. But I think it goes into it. We have a guy who we know is going to go out there and give it his all if he's able, if he can. And availability nowadays is a big deal because as we start to look at nutrition and the technology gets better and we're doing all these different studies, you got guys that are missing games for things that they would have never missed games for. And I think he's earned the right to be able to walk around the Miami Dolphins facility as the man, I believe.
No, I agree completely. I think he deserves that much money a year. If Trevor Lawrence, who, hey, I'm big on sunshine. I think he's that dude. He just needs a lot of help around him. I think he's that dude. I'm a Jared Goff apologist. I think he's that guy. I think he is one of the best in the second tier. I think they both deserve that amount of money. I think Tua is right there with them. And but let me remind you, we were worried that his brain was mush.
Literally.
But he started 17 games last year, won 11 of them, led the NFL in passing yards. He led the NFL in passing yards. Almost 70%, 69, nice, 0.3 completion percentage, 29 touchdowns, 14 picks, all pro, comeback player of the year, Pro Bowl. The year before, got MVP votes before he got hurt. This is a dude.
Oh, yeah. And a big thing, I was thinking about this the other day. I feel when it comes to paying quarterbacks, because, it's contract season, and you look at a guy like Trevor Lawrence, and we can look at his regular season success and look at his numbers and have our opinions to as if we think he should have been paid that money or not. But one thing we've always seen about Trevor Lawrence, I think he's always got this, and I think Brady had it, and it's not about, I said this with Dak also, it's not about is a guy good enough. I think in the NFL, there is a good amount of quarterbacks who, if they have a good team, they're good enough to go out and win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys.
Agreed.
But what I think separates a guy and allows a guy like Trevor Lawrence to get paid money that you may not expect him to get paid is how is this guy's brain wired when the pressure's on? Before a big game, is he somebody that can handle the pressure? Are we worried about him messing up? Or if he makes a mistake, is it because he couldn't handle the pressure, or is it because he's not good enough? And I think Trevor is one of those guys who can be down 28-0 at halftime and actually believe that his team can come back and win the game.
No, just believe. He proved it.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that he literally did that.
And he did that in college too. And that's the thing. You saw it track. So you saw him do that in college. Clemson was always coming back, and it seemed like they were never going to lose. And then he comes into the NFL, and you can just see that no matter what's going on in the game, we know our quarterback is going to be able to bring us on a rally. And I think that makes it much easier to give a guy huge bucks. Like Jared Goff's a good quarterback. I don't know if we've seen him consistently in that gotta go get it mode like we see Lawrence do, go out and win, or Tua or Dak, for example. I think that's why Lawrence got his money, is because he's clutch, he's big time. He looks into the face of adversity and a big deficit, and he doesn't shake, he doesn't waver, and the team feeds off that greatly.
I think in the case of Trevor Lawrence, there's another level to that. Mm-hmm. He's the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Serious.
Who is going to go to Jacksonville on purpose? They had the number 1 pick. They got their quarterback. Lock him down. I don't care if Trevor Lawrence never becomes the best player in football. I don't care if he ever has the conversation of Trevor Lawrence being a top tier guy. He will always at least be the second tier guy, and that is the best Jacksonville will ever do. Pay him. Lock him down. It's not the same for Tua, because Tua has all the concussions. Tua is one bad concussion away from retiring. And if you have like a giant contract for Tua, I mean, he's got the arm talent. Like, he knows he's on page with his receivers, led the league. And don't forget, last year, Miami was a favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Over the Super Bowl champion Chiefs in the playoffs. They were the favorites in that game. He's still a super talented guy, and you have to pay him. And this goes beyond like what it says to your organization about locking down your quarterback. The finances of football, if you don't pay Tua that $55 million or whatever, you're going to cause a rift in your locker room. And another thing, it's not just is he worth that $55 million? That doesn't matter. Because at the end of the contract, the 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever he ends up signing for, that will be nothing at the end of the contract. People freaked out at Patrick Mahomes when he signed that $500 million, $50 million a year contract. It's like, oh, the Chiefs runs over. They paid too much. He didn't do like Tom Brady and take a pay cut.
Now,
they won 2 Super Bowls in a row. They're fine. They're fine.
And guess what? You let Tua go. Guess who's going to, in the new age, with the way wide receivers are nowadays, guess who's going to be the first person to force his way out of Miami? And it's going to be Tyreek Hill.
Sure.
Because when he first went to Miami, he was raving about Tua the whole offseason.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Tyreek, what are you doing? You're insane. Why would you leave Mahomes? And he's like, look, I still got a great quarterback in Tua. And Tyreek was really the first person to sign off on Tua, because yes, Tua was a great prospect, but we didn't really start to look at him, at least me personally. I didn't start taking him serious until Tyreek left Mahomes and was like, Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. He puts the ball, because we hadn't seen too much of Tua because that was coming off of his concussions and all those issues he was having. And Tyreek's like, this guy's the best thrower in the league. He's the most accurate quarterback in the league. And then he comes out, plays the whole season, lights it up all year. And Tyreek's not going to be a happy camper if they even flirt with the idea of losing his quarterback. Because he's not going for 2,000 without Tua.
I can get, because of his concussion concerns, you don't give him a 100% guaranteed contract. You put some stipulations in there.
Yes.
If you don't play this amount of games, the following season, whatever it may be, whatever verbiage you want to throw in the contract is void. You get X amount of money. You come back, we'll pay you your money. You have to pay him. He's a top 10 quarterback, top 12 at worst. Pay him his money. And also, no rumors get out without a reason. What's the reason that this information leaked out? To gauge public opinion? Do they need to hear everyone say, idiots like me with a microphone? Do they need to hear Van say that, oh, you better pay him or he's going to walk. You better pay him because there's no other better options. What are you going to do? You're going to trade for Cooper Rush? What are you going to do if you don't have Tua? And there's what, 20-ish teams who would take Tua over their quarterback right now?
Oh, yeah. And again, like I said, it could be a package deal. You lose Tua, you're losing Tyreek. They may even, with the relationship they have, they may even go somewhere together. They might do the old Bronny LeBron treatment.
You're not wrong. Who is wrong is the person in the middle of next segment's Isham Dental soundbite of the day.
Yeah.
And it is a spicy one, boys. Don't leave, because when we get back, we got one of the best Isham Dental soundbites of the day ever. You listen to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Clear?
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
We are now dealing with 3 accidents going southbound 25. The first is at Avenida Cesar Chavez, the second is just before Gibson, and the third is south of the Sunport. Your delays are starting way before the interchange and lasting all the way through Sunport. An earlier accident, northbound 25 in Gibson, you are still dealing with backups as well, way before the Sunport.
This report is brought to you by Malloy Los Lunas.
The heat is on at Malloy Chevrolet in Los Lunas, where you can pick up a new 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 and get up to $4,000 cash back. When you think Chevrolet, think MalloyChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. See dealer for all details.
If you see an accident, call the Traffic Tracker hotline at 767-9167. Brought to you by American Home Furniture and Mattress, serving the community since 1936. World class, local style. I'm Michael Carlisle from the 96.3 News Radio KKOB Traffic Center.
Another day, another full slate of MLB action. I'm Chris Mack here to help you beat the books with BetQL and the model ready with a standout wager that you got to jump on. The Astros are streaking and have a chance to secure a 7th consecutive victory against the lowly Rockies. The BetQL model rates Astros money line as a 5-star best bet, as the Rockies have lost 4 of their last 5 road games. Astros have all the momentum in this one. I'm Chris Mack. Bet smarter, beat the books. Download the BetQL.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor. Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes d'où?
Vous êtes d'où? Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, how's your French going? You can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage de nouvelles langues. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
When you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
You want it right today. Get it done the Daniels way. Daniels, plumbing, heating, and air.
JJ Trout here, and did you know that over time you will spend just as much maintaining and switching over your swamp cooler every year as you will to convert to refrigerated air? So why wait? Now is the perfect time to make the switch. Call the pros at Daniels Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning today and experience total comfort this summer. 505-898-8860. I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans. Twisted Tea Brewery, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
Welcome back to the Sports Animal. Thanks for joining the program, friends of the show. Program in question, of course, is 2 men on. One Van Nunley here. One Isaiah Zay Johnson on the other side of the glass. Zay, pump your podcast.
Zay Talks 824, my YouTube channel. If you're into the heavy Cowboys content, that's where you go. I'm not a delusional Cowboy fan, but I view myself as a realist. So do not mask me as a Cowboy hater. Cowboy Nation is not friendly fire. I just expect better of us in our front office. But yeah, I sit down in front of the cameraman and I think throughout the day, like, what do I want to talk about? And I sit down in front of the camera and I hit record on our StreamYard service, courtesy of Fred Slow. Thank you. And I just start freestyling. I really one take it. And I just ramble, vent. I pretend like somebody's standing in front of me. Who cares?
Well, if you can't get enough of Zay on this program, check out his podcast. Little Cowboys heavy for my taste, but it's still good. Better than good, of course, is Scott Isham at Isham Dental. Check out ishamdentalabq.com. Any insurance, any Medicaid, they will make it work. Single day denture repair, they will get it done. 3900 Eubank Boulevard Northeast, Building A, Suite 5. Give them a phone call. If you don't like to do the interwebs action, 505-881-0422. Scott's like a legit nice guy and the best in the biz at what he does.
He really is. Like, when I went in, I felt super comfortable. And like I said before, I got in, got out, and he was texting me on the side. You know what's very underrated in like doctors or dentist providers? It's like when post, operation, surgery, procedure, whatever you get done, when they don't have the front desk ladies reach out to you, when the actual head boss himself texts you or messages you and asks how you're doing, and it makes you feel like I'm directly talking to the person who did work on me. I'm not talking to a front desk lady, or I'm not talking to a nurse. I'm talking to the direct person. And he reached out to me directly, like on text message, within days.
So you paid your bill and he still cares? He just didn't discard you like an already paid for piece of garbage?
Yes, he got one thing done and he's like, all right, look, your insurance kicks in on the 1st of July. Let's get you booked for then and we'll finish the rest.
If you have a need, you know anyone in need, Isham Dental, ISHAM, IshamDentalABQ.com. With further ado, and this is a spicy one, boys, your Isham Dental soundbite of the day.
So was he trying to casually date and you were all in?
Yeah, girl.
This is Kelly Stafford, wife of Matthew Stafford.
At first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup to piss him off. Which worked.
Yes.
He was like, that'll do it. He was the bad boy too. Like Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him. So they lived in the same dorm because athletes lived in the same dorm. And
gosh.
And so at one point he like waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out. And he was like,
this is so hot.
I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. I was get out of my car and he was like, he's not right for you. And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
Woo! That was Kelly Stafford, wife of Matthew Stafford. And if you don't know anything about Kelly Stafford by now, if this is the first time you're experiencing anything about Kelly Stafford, 99% of the time, she's awful. She is awful. She is the wife of Matthew Stafford, and she acts like she is the Super Bowl winning quarterback. Like, people are going to tune in to hear her stories, her life advice. This is wild. She can't stay out of the spotlight. She can't shut up. And then she topped herself once again. The only thing that she's ever done that did not anger me, that did not have me turning beet red, is when she threw nachos at a guy that was talking smack about Matthew Stafford. That was hilarious. Good job on that one. But every other time you've done anything or opened up your mouth, Kelly Stafford, oh my God.
So where would you put her on the scale of Aisha Curry to Brittany Mahomes?
Okay. That gives me a great idea. Today's I-9 Varsity, which we'll do at 6:30. Today's I-9 Varsity is the I-9 Varsity of Worst Wives. The Worst Wives. And I'll tell you what, let's do Worst Partners.
Okay.
To open it up to both sexes.
Okay. Yes. I like
Today's I-9 Varsity at 6:30, the Varsity of Worst Wives. So if you didn't get enough out of that Isham Dental soundbite of the day, what Kelly Stafford was talking about is she hooked up with Matthew Stafford's backup to make him jealous, to force him into a relationship with her, which, by the way, it worked. They're married. They have children together.
Gosh. And, I saw in the comment, some guy basically said that, and they're like, well, she never said hooked up. She just said dated. I'm like, come on.
Come on.
If this was like an elementary or middle school story, I'd understand. But what is she doing leaving this guy's house?
You're
in college.
You're in college at their dorm.
And
that's what dating means. You're not going to Starbucks every other Thursday. You went to his dorm at night. You're not studying for a calculus test.
Seriously.
You're not working on your history essay.
And if he was the backup quarterback and he's got the starting quarterback's girl in his apartment, he's not in there trying to play checkers. He's not trying to play checkers. He's in there and he's trying to do irreversible things.
Yeah, the backup's name?
Oh, gosh.
Joe Cox. This is real. This is so real.
Let me see this guy's face. So
Hooked up.
Looks like the opposite of
you don't need to look at his face. I'll tell you exactly what he looks like. He looks like me, who's been put in the microwave. He looks exactly like me. It is creepy.
So the opposite. So the opposite of Matthew Stafford.
Yes, Matthew Stafford, gentleman, good-looking guy, insanely talented.
He does.
Hooks up with the backup. He looks like me, doesn't he? With an awful sunburn.
Whoa.
Yeah, told you. If you're going to choose me over Matthew Stafford, you got some problems, girl. Matthew Cuckford. That is so wild. This is just so wild.
Cuckford.
Can you imagine being Matthew Stafford? Done nothing wrong his whole life. No drama. No arrests. Never in the media for anything negative.
Balls live.
He was beaten up to the point where he was going to retire from football. He never left Detroit. He stayed with them, just like he stayed with this insane person, Kelly Stafford. Is there no shame in the world anymore? Howard, this is for you and your husband at the dinner table to talk about. At worst, you and your family therapist to talk about. This isn't something you talk about on a podcast for the whole world to hear.
You know what's also sickening is how there is such a thin line between what I guess you can say people, men and women find attractive or like scary when someone's like, no, I'm not leaving.
Right.
Till, and
that is
like,
the giantest, biggest, brightest red flag you could ever see.
The other girl's like, oh, this is so hot. And I'm like, that's how you get your guy in fights. That's, girls, they want to see that jealousy factor until all of a sudden a fight breaks out and then they're all, and the guys are the same way. They want to see a girl jealous until she's breaking windows. It's not so funny.
It's a slippery slope. It really is. And you think her hooking up with his backup, a guy that looks like me, put in a microwave, you think that looks bad? Guess who Matthew Stafford's backup is now? Jimmy Garoppolo, the best looking guy in the history of the NFL. Matt, watch your back. Keep this crazy lady happy because she's going to try to hook up with Jimmy G because you didn't put a pool in your house or something. Oh, God, I feel so sorry for Matt Stafford.
He bought the wrong SUV.
Woof.
She wanted the Tesla, not the Range.
One more segment before the NBA draft. NBA draft talk and some quick hitters. A lot of basketball talk, a lot of draft talk here on out. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save up to $50 on your print purchase. Offer ends 7/6. Visit staples.com/print for details. Boost your business with Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
welcome back for a quickie. One quick commercial break before the NBA draft.
Ooh.
It's going to be a crazy one, Zay.
I'm hyped for it. I'm glad we get a full hour of it.
I bet there's going to be 5 trades in the first round. 5. I bet 3 NBA players who are established in the league move to different teams this evening. It's going to be very spicy.
I'm all here for it. I'm starting to realize how much easier, not that this is a very difficult job, but how much more fun. Well, from my end, it's a lot more tougher on you than it is for me, as I learned before the show today. But I feel like when things go on, it just makes this job a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fun.
Wait, when we get to riff live on something happening, because we can't just put on a game and talk over the game. We can comment here and there. But it's literally illegal to do that. But when it comes to the NBA draft, NFL draft, we can give you hot take after hot take. We can talk about it live all we want. And that's what we're going to do. A little bit of MLB talk in the 6 o'clock hour. We're doing mostly NBA drafts. It's going to be a spicy one. Not as spicy as Georgia Bulldogs backup quarterback situation could be, but still pretty spicy.
I thought you were going to say the green chili that the mosquito in your house is addicted to.
Yes. Good callback. When we get back, pick number 1 of the NBA draft. Let's go, baby. You listen to 2 Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Some folks will do too much.
Clear.
Others, man, they're just out of touch. Ain't out there rap so much as way you don't.
Brought to you by New Balance. New Balance and more at New Mexico Shoes, where we measure your feet to help make pain go away in your back, feet, knees, and hips. In Conwood Corners next to Best Buy, and New Mexico Shoes on Montevero next to SAS. New Balance and New Mexico Shoes.
All earlier accidents going southbound 25 have been cleared. You are still dealing with stop and go from around Bomas. An earlier accident northbound 25 at Gibson has been cleared, but it looks like the northbound 25 ramp is closed. Westbound Alameda is sluggish, starting around 4th Street to Corrales Road, and westbound 40 has backup starting from just before University, lasting to Coors. I'm Stephanie Griffin with traffic every 10 minutes on the 7th.
This report is sponsored by Rumble.com. Say goodbye to overpriced cable and hello to free independent media with Rumble, the free speech video app. Enjoy the freedom to be entertained on mobile, desktop, or the big screen with Donald Trump Jr. at 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday and Thursday. Visit Rumble.com or download the app and watch for free.
If you see an accident, call the Traffic Tracker hotline at 767-9167. Brought to you by American Home Furniture and Mattress, serving the community since 1936. World class, local style. I'm Michael Carlisle from the 96.3 News Radio KKOB Traffic Center.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Be Honest Bespoke Skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there, providing hot meals, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love.
They just really genuinely just want to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.
To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Attention sports fans, join us at the Rio Rancho Event Center on Saturday, June 29th as the Duke City Gladiators take on the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Bring the family and your friends to witness this heart-pounding action of indoor football at its finest. Feel the excitement as the Gladiators battle it out, delivering bone-crushing tackles, lightning-fast passes, and jaw-dropping touchdowns. Cheer on the Duke City Gladiators Saturday at Rio Rancho Event Center. Get your tickets today at DukeCityGladiators.com. It's a game you won't want to miss.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you. Because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Now betting for the sports animal, your afternoon drive. Number 2, Menon, Van Nunley and Fred Slow. And in the on-deck circle, Amory Castillo.
This is 2 Men On with Van Nunley and Fred Slow.
Mike's hot.
2 hours in the books, 1 to go, friend of the show. Welcome back to Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
You know, fun fact, this is my favorite intro song.
This one right here?
Yes.
This is pretty dope.
Yeah, it's very chill vibe. Calms the nerves.
Could be like some of Luda's early stuff.
Yeah. Or like a
little chill, but something you can bounce on top of.
Yeah, like a cool Mario level. One of the underground
a newer Mario.
I was going to say a newer Mario.
I haven't played Mario in so long.
I tell you what, there's a lot of times I've really considered buying a Switch just to play Mario.
I got the first Wii, and I kind of only have Mario Kart and Wii Sports. It's kind of, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I love it. I've loved it. It's kind of just for when kids come over.
Yeah,
I got something to do.
That's the care package. Wii Sports and Mario Kart, those two together will carry.
Whenever you get sick of petting my dog, kids, boy, do I have the activity for you.
And you know, it's nice for things like Mario to still be going on, and you're still able to play the old ones, because what I've learned a lot in the world of gaming is there's sometimes, especially now, that I'm working a lot more rather than, just having football season and being off. Beforehand, I used to love to get on the game and be ready to be super competitive all day long. But now when I get done working, sometimes I just want to relax and play something that has like some strategy or is a little competitive, but I'm not trying to get home and play some sweathead that's been mastering the game for the past 8 hours. And I just want to come home and have fun. And Mario's one of those games where you can still just come home, relax, unwind, de-stress. You don't have to worry about some 8-year-old.
Right.
That's mastered the game.
Sure. Some 12-year-old kid who loves JJ Redick and dropping M-bombs.
And the Call of Duty lobbies. You can report people nowadays quickly.
2024 NBA draft just started. Nosferatu himself behind the podium. God, that's a weird looking guy. I'm so proud of him for catapulting himself into the level of success and fame, being the NBA commissioner when you look like old-timey Dracula. It's so bonkers.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where you could tell he held grudges on everybody that bullied him. He got his payback at age 30.
Oh, God, you know it.
Like, they're long gone.
From a friend of the show, Joel, weird to see Van without a drink in his hand. I'm going to take that as a compliment, maybe. Pretty sure, because we're often, every other Tuesday, we're at Rio Bravo, got a beer in my hand. Every Thursday, we're at Sadie's, got a margarita in my hand. Every other Friday, we're at Safe House Distilling, got a Teller vodka in my hand. But surprise, surprise, I've been waiting for this moment.
Oh,
you hear that? Huh? You hear that, friend of the show?
Joke's on you.
Got me a little Teller vodka right here in my hand to enjoy this NBA draft and close out the program today. Well, good ones, hey? You've done great today.
Thank you.
This is like the most we've ever asked you for content. Just me and you hanging out.
I have always felt since about the age of 10 that I could have got on the ESPN and carried. Like, not as in like carried the show to number one. But if someone like put me there and was like, have a conversation and don't sound stupid. Say things that make sense. And yeah, I like to stay in my own lane. If I know it, I'm going to talk about it. But if I don't know it, I'll be quiet.
First pick is in, coming back to the podium. The first pick of the NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks select LeBron James Jr., shooting guard, USC, in a shocker. Whoever would have seen that coming? Nobody, because that's not real. That's not real. That didn't happen.
You see a guy put down $500 for Bronny to get picked first.
That's so nuts.
His payout's like $500,000.
LeBron James has not signed his extension with the Lakers yet. He's waiting for tonight, dummy. If Bronny doesn't go to the Lakers, LeBron James is going wherever Bronny goes. He already got his production company. He's already filthy rich. He's doing just fine. He wants to play ball with his boy. Wherever they go, he's going to go.
And I understand the narrative that a lot of media analysts are putting out there. Like, what if Bronny deep down doesn't want to play with LeBron? And I get it, and it makes a lot of sense to assume that from a teenage kid. But if you really like watch the interviews with Bronny and just look at his social media, he has given no signs that he doesn't want the spotlight of LeBron. He doesn't give any signs that he doesn't want to play with his dad. He's literally all on board with it. And it seems as if it's a similar situation as, not that the NBA is jail in any fashion,
sure,
but like, like sometimes if if a son goes to jail, sometimes a dad will try to go into jail to like protect his son. It seems like it's that kind of situation where I feel like Bronny would rather have LeBron there, because everyone's going to say it's because of LeBron no matter what. So why not have dad there with you? Why not have dad on your team? Why not just indulge in it?
I mean, since he was a kid, he's been in the spotlight, obviously.
Exactly.
And no better person to coach him up for that situation than LeBron James, who's been in the spotlight since he was 14.
Oh, yeah.
Was he on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16?
Yeah, 16. Yeah. And his games were being televised earlier than that.
He's getting picked tonight.
Oh, you think?
The question is, to whom?
I think he's going tonight.
Bronny?
Yeah.
Oh, good point. They're splitting up the rounds. My bad. Round 2 is tomorrow. Only round 1's tonight. He's getting picked in this draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me. Thank you for correcting me.
I was going to say
he's getting picked.
I hope he doesn't get picked tonight. I want to see him go to the Lakers. Why not? If there's no guarantee we're going to win the championship anyways, I'm already a Cowboys fan. I already see one of my teams dominate the news. I might as well see the other one. Get Bronny. Get JJ Redick. Let's make this the new Showtime.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Might as well.
Every mock draft I've seen in the past couple of weeks has Atlanta taking Zachary Orisacio from France with the number 1 pick. I think Alex Sarr is the prize of the draft. I think he is the stud of this draft. In my opinion, and then I'm not, the best talent analyzer of potential NBA talent. Atlanta Hawks war room is clapping. They feel like they've got their guy. Pick has yet to be announced, but the pick is in. About to come up to the podium and let you know who is the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
I think they're clapping because they just got the number 4 and the number 8 pick.
Number 4 and number 8 pick, which was my prediction. That we're going to have to wait till the number 4 pick to confirm that, but I think the Atlanta Hawks will be selecting 1st, 4th, and 8th in this draft, and Trae Young is going to San Antonio.
If I'm the Spurs, you come out with, I'm not too familiar with a lot of the college prospects. If you come out with Dillingham, Shepherd, or Trae Young, you got a win-win situation. You've already got a rookie in Wembanyama who's the equivalent to 2 draft picks. And he's going to become twice as good You don't need that much. You've got a superstar that's growing so fast, and I don't think they should trade up for one player. I think the Spurs should keep both of their picks, and you just think about Wemby.
If you can get, like you said, I think except for the two giant Frenchmen, Reed Shepherd and Robert Dillingham are the two best basketball players.
Yes.
We're just talking about basketball players.
Because you want somebody, yes, you want someone that can, that's a very good passer, facilitator, but also...
To interrupt you real quick, on the television now are Hawks players wearing berets. They feel like they're guaranteed to get one of the 7-foot-tall French dudes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, so yeah, basically I feel like you get you get a player who's a perimeter player and he can get a bucket and also be able to pass. And I'm a big Kobe fan, so obviously I'm going to look at all the benefits in someone that likes to score. I know Dillingham likes to score the ball, but sometimes another version of being a good facilitator is being such a dominant scorer that you draw attention off of other people. So imagine a team having to worry about another scorer, but that scorer, all he has to learn how to do is throw the ball near the rim. Throw the ball near the rim off a pick and roll, and Wemby's going to go up and get it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I think they just need a facilitator. They need a facilitator. They need a competent point guard.
Yes.
To run the offense. And they need a good wing defender to stop the other team from draining threes. And just like everyone in the universe predicted, number one pick to the Atlanta Hawks, wing, who is the size of a center, Zachary Arisher. He's going to be really upset that you can't smoke cigarettes in the locker room.
I know Trae Young's liking that pick. And just like the same with Atlanta, get Trae Young a set big man. Not that this guy could, be that, but get him somebody to send him some screens. Can this guy shoot? He's got to be able to shoot. He went.
Yeah, he can shoot. He can shoot. He can defend. He can kind of do it all. I don't see him being a superstar, but I see him being perennial all-star contender, contributor to your team. That's the problem with this draft this year. Like, there's no Wembanyama. There's no Zion. There's no KD. There's no LeBron. There's no sure thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the closest to a sure thing will be the next pick, unless there's some magical movement and Alex Sarr going next.
We got Donovan Clingan there.
Hawks seem to have their guy. The war room's happy. The fans are happy. It's a good start to the NBA draft.
Wemby putting on for the country.
France is taking over, baby.
Oh yeah, they got three of their players out of the top 10 were draft France.
Yeah,
the top 10 draft picks. Yeah, Zachary Rissacher, Alex Sarr, and then we got Tijane Salaun.
Tijane Salaun.
Oh, kind of for the laughing.
I mean, and these guys they're 18, 19.
Dude, that's so crazy. That's how I know I'm getting old. Like, when I look at guys like Micah, I'm like, oh, Micah's younger than me.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
This is the oldest you've ever been.
Yeah. And it's starting to hit harder than ever.
Ex-college football player, yeah.
Seriously.
25 or 26, I forget.
26.
26.
I was in college football for too long, dude.
Yeah.
I was one of those players where I'd get hurt and the coaches are like, yeah, don't take a full semester because you're going to lose a year of eligibility. So just take part-time classes and we'll give you a medical red shirt. And the next year, boom, another preseason injury. Okay, we will use your gray shirt. So many shirts I didn't even know existed.
24-year-old senior.
They want me to come back for another. I'm like, dude.
You got your COVID year too?
Yeah, COVID came into play. I'm like, dude, I'm done.
Is that can't be true? Only the 4th overall number 1 international pick? That is bonkers.
Yeah, it's
as good as the internationals have been in the NBA the last few years. You would think that they're like, yeah, from here, drop him down the depth chart. give me the French guy. Give me the Eastern European guy. Can I not pronounce his name? Yeah, him. That one.
There's a good amount of guys that helped. Like you had Manu and other guys that were put in Pau Gasol and Dirk, so we knew the foreigners could play. But I think like Luka, because I remember the hype with Luka, and at that point it was like a knock on him. Oh, we don't know. Sure. He plays in a different league. And Luka comes over and he's like, yeah, the NBA is easier to score.
Yeah, and they play less defense.
Yeah, they play less defense here. And you got Jokic, who seems like he's going 70%, and he's just casually killing it.
Yeah, Jokic, I mean, I say this all the time. It's kind of worn out by now. Jokic looks like he's playing in flip-flops, and he's still 3-time MVP.
And doesn't care about any of them.
Number 2 on the board, the Washington Don't Call Me the Bullets Wizards. Seems like a pretty sure thing that Alex Sarr will be going next.
Okay.
Unless there's a last-second trade. We don't know what's written down on that piece of paper, but we're all assuming they're not going to do anything weird, and they're just going to take Alex Sarr. We'll wait for this pick, and then we'll go to commercial so we can come back, give you some more NBA draft analysis and reactions as it comes out. Also coming at 6:30, the I-9 varsity of worst wives, worst partners. I'm going to sprinkle that in as we react to the NBA draft. I mean, you gotta milk it. Like, if you know 1 and 2 are pretty much a sure thing, 3 is a maybe, but I think it's a sure thing. I think after the 2 giant Frenchmen, Reed Shepherd is a pretty obvious 3rd pick. We'll see if he goes to Houston or if there's a trade.
Yeah, because on this ESPN list, it's got Donovan Clingan 3rd and Reed Shepherd 4th, but that's not a mock draft. That's just
their rankings. Sure. I think Reed Shepherd, from what I know about the Rockets, my childhood team, is he's the best fit for them.
I like it. I'm really just interested to see who the Spurs go with. I think it's going to be Rob. I haven't heard anybody really talk about it being Rob, but I think it's going to be Rob.
Yeah, they have Rob going somewhere 8 to 12, 8 to 13. I think he's better than that.
Me too. I think that's a guy that's going to be a bucket getter. He's going to be like the Ant Edwards of the group, even though Ant went first.
If Reed drops to 4 and then they reach up, and it's true, everyone's speculation was correct on both the first and the second pick. Alex Sarr, center from France, who will probably do some kind of hybrid power forward, will be a second pick to the Wizards, unless he subsequently gets traded for the 4th and 8th overall pick, which I think is also a possibility, to play with fellow Frenchman Victor Wembanyama. When we get back, my Rockets pick 3rd, and we keep the draft reaction going. You listen to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you by Malloy Los Lunas.
Clear.
Is on at Malloy Ram and Los Lunas during the Make This
Sports.
Mike's hot.
Welcome back to the program, Duke City. NBA draft coverage here on Team It On. 35 short minutes to the end of this program. As predicted by basically every draft expert in the universe, Houston Rockets take sharpshooter Kentucky guard Reed Shepherd, all-time leader points and assists in Kentucky high school history. You know how many ballers have played basketball in Kentucky? And he's the best one ever.
Points and assists?
Yes. He's going to, being only 6'2", he's going to have his work cut out for him. He shot over 50% from three last year.
Okay.
And he is lights out.
I looked at his picture, and right away I'm like, yep.
Congratulations. You're the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers in 20 years.
I was going to say JJ Redick. JJ Redick. I'm like, yep. I mean, he must be elite.
Over 50%, 52.5% from three as a freshman for Kentucky. If you can go 40% in the NBA, you're an all-star. That is lights out shooting.
Seriously, that's insane.
And I'll admit it, boys. I'll admit when I was wrong. I thought the Rockets were going to wheel and deal that pick. I thought the number 3 pick in the draft would be somebody else's or someone else. But they got a good one. Reed Shepherd can shoot the lights out. He's a perfect complement to that young core they already have there. I thought the Rockets were going to go after a superstar with some of their young talent and all those picks they got. Maybe Paul George, maybe Kevin Durant, maybe Donovan Mitchell. But they stood pat, kept the youth movement going, and got themselves a baller. Next up, and here's another pick that I thought was going to be dealt. Watch me be wrong again. San Antonio Spurs with the 4th pick, and a few picks later, got the 8th pick. Let's see what they're going to do here. Most experts, pundits, kind of split almost evenly between Stephon Castle or Donovan Clingan.
They better not get Clingan.
I mean, you already got a 7-footer.
Seriously.
How many 7-footers do you need? You're just hoarding at this point.
You better not get Clingan.
The pick is not in because they're entertaining so many offers.
And if you go get Stephon Castle, is he potentially better than a Trae Young? I mean, if they're for sure going to go after Trae Young, then maybe you go get Clingan, right? And then you make another trade with the 8th pick.
Yeah.
Which would be like a genius move.
I'm sure, I'm assuming, but I'm sure they've been having talks for weeks about these 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since the draft was set, they've been negotiating with other teams trying to get the right deal. I bet they've been talking about Trae Young. I bet they've been talking about Donovan Mitchell, who would be a good fit. Like any young star, they've had talks, guaranteed.
And what I can say is if they go with a big man, you can go ahead and book it that they're going for some perimeter player. Whether it's whether it be in this draft or whether it be, like we said, Mitchell, Trae Young, they're going to do something. I think if they take a big man here, I don't think they're banking on their starting perimeter player to help put them over the edge being there at number 8. I think if they go for a big man here, I think we're going to see them go shoot for the stars.
Agree. I mean, I think Dillingham's a baller, but the problem is he doesn't have NBA size.
Uh-huh.
I think Dillingham's talent and playmaking ability could justify a 4 pick here, but it just, you can't trust somebody that size. It's just so rare in the NBA now that someone 6'1", and then when you're listed at 6'1", you're probably really 6 foot. Yeah. Like when I'm on Tinder and I say I'm 5'11", I'm really 5'10" and a half. Pick is in.
Uh-oh.
Walking up to the podium. Uh-oh. We're getting weird here. You're playing it straight, boys. Adam Silver making the announcement right now.
He said a vampire.
And it is Stephon Castle, guard from UConn.
Ooh.
Man, I'm rarely this wrong. I said there was going to be 5 trades in the first round, and that kind of was completely leaning on the 4 pick and 8 pick going somewhere and the 3rd pick going somewhere. So if you took the under on trades, it's looking really good right now, because I thought both Texas teams up at the top were going to make some moves. But it's smart. I mean, if you think Wembanyama's frame is going to last 15, 20 years in the NBA, why not just start young? Start with these guys, build a core, let them play together, get progressively better. I think it should be the other way around. Popovich ain't going to be around much longer. Wembanyama, I think he's going to win the MVP next year. I think he's going to be the best player in basketball next year.
I will say, Van, you from day one, you said that pre-draft. You said, I think he's going to become the best player ever. I think he's going to be the best player in the league. I'm buying the hype.
I mean, you saw the tape last year. He unanimous rookie of the year.
Dude.
He should have been the defensive player of the year. He only played like 24 minutes a game.
That may have been the best rookie season ever.
It's dominant. It's insane what he did on the defensive end, and he just got progressively better on offense all year. Wembanyama is him.
It's going to be the closest thing. It's going to be the modern day Wilt. Like,
but better.
Yes. Yeah. As an individual player, oh yeah, of course. But like, if you're taking like numbers wise and you're comparing it to what Wilt was doing to his peers, I think Wemby's going to be having that effect on his peers.
Have you seen highlights of people dribbling down the court and they have like a 3-on-1 or a 2-on-1?
Yeah.
And the only person they got to beat is Wembanyama, and they just pull up from the 3-point line. They don't take it to the basket. If they get anywhere close to Wemby, they pass it, and the next guy next to Wemby passes it.
Oh, yeah.
And you lose all those easy buckets that, in the history of the NBA, you would have 100% went up for.
And he's starting to realize the effect. I think he always knew the effect he has, but he's starting to, like, he's getting to the point now where even if he's in the paint and someone's shooting a 3, he's lunging with his arms in the air, just knowing that this is still going to affect him.
Yeah.
I might even block it.
Yeah, whether you block it or not, you're going to affect the shot.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you block it or tip it or alter it. You're 7.5 feet tall.
Remember the fear Miami Heat LeBron had on people in the fast breaks?
Sure.
They were always like peeking, like, where's he at? Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
I think Wemby, he's got that at all times.
It's worse.
It's worse because he can do it to you just straight up, face to face.
He's almost as athletic as LeBron, and he's a foot taller with a 1.5 a 1.5 longer wingspan.
Yeah, he's insane. I think he's a better shooter than LeBron was when he first came into the league.
Yeah, and he's only going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, watch out, basketball. It's going to get boring because I don't know if it's going to be as soon as next year, because I don't think the core is there if they don't trade for some ready-made superstar in the NBA. If they're going to go with the young core and try to have them learn and grow together, it might take an extra year or two than I predicted. But the San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama are going to win so many championships in the association.
Mm-hmm. And they are in the right hands. That's what makes it so easy to guarantee it, because it's not like you have all these players and they have a coach where you're unsure about the coach. They got a bunch of players where you know they're going to have a good system. There's going to be a game plan. They're going to have an identity. You know, they're not just going to be out there running around with their heads cut off. Wemby's in the best possible hands he could have been in as far as coach, and just historically, he fits in perfectly to the Spurs mold, and it's even like the modern day version. He's like the modern day version of Tim Duncan, whereas people are shooting and dribbling more, and then you got Wemby just dribbling, shooting, and he's still very composed, like Pop likes his players.
And even, I mean, they'll always have Pop. I don't think Pop will ever like traditionally retire.
Yeah, he'll be like an owner.
Yeah, no, he'll be the GM of the front office. He'll be special assistant. He'll always be there helping out, pulling the strings. If he didn't retire, like after all the success that he's had in his career, if he hasn't retired yet, he's never going to retire. His health will be the only thing to make him stop.
Yeah, I'm R.I.P. Pop's wife. I remember when I thought that was going to break him.
Sure.
I was like, oh, there's no way. So,
made him more passionate.
Yeah, now it might be all he's got.
Well, obviously he doesn't want to die because he sold his soul for the best basketball player in the draft every time they get the number one pick.
Yeah.
David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Victor Wembanyama? Are you kidding me? With a healthy Kawhi Leonard in the middle? This is nuts, dude. What a run. You're a great coach and you always get the best player. It's unfair for your legacy.
And you get the best players that have good heads on their shoulders.
Pick 5, Detroit Pistons. Pick is in. They keep showing Donovan Cleanon, so it's looking like it's going to be him. That's where most pundits are picking him to go. But it is taking a minute. The pick's been in for a minute.
Poor guy.
We finally got one of these trades that I told you about that has not happened yet.
Can you think of a team in any sport that'd be worse to play for than the Detroit Pistons?
In any sport?
Yeah, the Detroit Pistons. It's got to be about as bad as it can get.
Man, the last few, they just missed on so many picks the last decade. And they've been the worst team in the league 3 years in a row and still never got a top 3 pick. It's so sad.
And then lifestyle.
Yeah. Donovan Cleanon here. He doesn't want to go there.
He's clinging on to hope.
There's so many draft picks are like, oh God, not me. Please. Anywhere but Detroit. Send me to Cleveland.
I was just gonna say Detroit's worse than Cleveland. If like yes. Gosh, I couldn't imagine. No, don't get me wrong. I'd love to be drafted 5th overall in any draft.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
You get to be the centerpiece of the future of an organization. And it is not the Klingon.
Whoa.
Shyamalan twist here. Ron Holland II, which, by the way, dude, you're a junior. You don't say a number until you're the 3rd. Ron Holland, don't call me the 2nd junior.
He's from the G League.
Wild.
He was ranked 13th overall.
6, yeah. I got him somewhere between 12 and 15. This is wild. I mean, he's a baller.
Detroit's like, trust me, bro.
Yes. Yeah, trust their judgment. Oh, my God. Hey, as far as swag goes, he is winning the contest so far. That is the most iced out jacket I've ever seen. That thing is twinkling, baby.
Maybe that's why they got him.
Oh yeah, any guy wearing that jacket's a superstar. Ron Holland II, G League Ignite.
Just add some razzle dazzle. Oh boy, is he smiling or does he have a straight face?
They're only showing his jacket.
Yeah, probably because
I can't see his face.
He's probably very monotone.
It's blinding me. He did not seem that excited to pick up that Detroit Pistons hat. He was like, damn, man, I could go like 10 to the Jazz. I can go 9 to Memphis, play with Ja. I can go to the Bulls, man, at 11, play where Jordan played. Dude, 12th to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're already good, bro. They're already in the playoffs. I can go to Oklahoma City, where they already got a real team there. Shoot. Bro, I might drop to 13, go to Sacktown. Bro, they were in the conference finals 2 years ago. No! You're going to Detroit! Sandwiched in between 2 picks, where he gets to play with the greatest player in the history of any sport, Victor Wembanyama, and this poor guy goes to Detroit. He's got 2 shots ahead of where he was projected, and he got Detroit. Oh, God, this poor guy.
He's like, is it too late to go back to the G League?
Oh, man.
How about China?
Can I go to the H League now? Oh, I feel sorry for this kid. At least, like, draft a foreigner who has no idea how bad the Pistons are.
Yeah, and guess where the Ignite play?
You got some American kid here.
The G League Ignite is in Vegas. And not Vegas, New Mexico.
Yeah. All right, that's the first shocker of the draft. That one threw me for a loop. That's wild. I hope you ball out, my dude. Good luck. All right, more draft analysis and the I-9 varsity of worst partners when we get back. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The opening drive with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Head basketball coach at the University of New Mexico is Richard Pitino.
The thing about this team, more so than probably last year, is we legitimately have 16 players, and all 16 think they can play. And obviously I can't do that, so competition is huge, and it's going to be better for them in the long run. I'm really excited about it. I mean, I think we worked really, really hard to get the right pieces in play.
Start your morning weekdays at 7 on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
You want it right today. Get it done the Daniels way. Daniels, plumbing, heating, and air.
JJ Trout here, and did you know that over time you will spend just as much maintaining and switching over your swamp cooler every year as you will to convert to refrigerated air? So why wait?
Welcome back, Duke City. NBA draft still moving along. The third Frenchman of the draft just went to your Charlotte Hornets. Altidon Salut, forward from France. Not much of a shocker. Kind of expected to be drafted somewhere in that area. Seems like they got themselves a good one. 6'9" forward out of France. 18 years old. So wild. So wild. Not wild is I9 Sports League Office 280. They're the best in the biz. They'll teach your kid. They'll keep them safe, and they'll have fun doing it. Check out League Office 280 at i9sports.com, 505-312-4999. And you know that we do the I9 Varsity. If you're unfamiliar with the I9 Varsity, it's a best of, worst of. It's your top 5 alive. It's your Rushmore. It's your totem pole. And in honor of Kelly Stafford just being an awful wife, today we're doing the I9 Varsity of Worst Partners. I will go first. First on my I9 Varsity of Worst Partners, easily, but not that much worse than Kelly Stafford. I'm going to go with Henry VIII. Zay, are you familiar with Henry VIII?
I'm not.
Henry VIII had 6 wives, and he killed 2 of them.
Uh-oh.
So not the best partner if you consider an important part of the marriage, staying alive.
Setting the bar very high.
Yeah. Zay?
Well, my partner now seems minuscule compared to that. But I'm going to go Ayesha Curry. And I know it's very casual for me to go that route, but she went on TV and openly says that she doesn't like that Steph's mother is getting the attention, getting called pretty, and that she's wondering, how come guys don't ever hit on me? Because you're married.
Because you're married.
Steph Curry. And a lot of times, guys nowadays, as bad as it is, they don't care. If they know, if they feel like their husband's a punk, they don't care. But when it's Steph Curry, a guy's like, what's the point of even trying? She's married to Steph.
Married to Steph Curry, a tall, handsome, super talented, super nice, multi-millionaire about to be one day a billionaire. Yeah,
Yes.
cool. Yeah, that's why. It's a good reason. Next on my I9 Varsity of Worst Partners, wonderful athlete, and in my opinion, great actor. But also, much like Henry VIII, a wife murderer. The recently deceased O.J. Simpson.
Oh.
He is not a good husband.
You've set the bar even higher.
Sorry, I'm good at this. O.J., don't marry O.J. Zay, what do you got next?
I'm going to go Giselle Bundchen. Bundchen.
Oh, is she the next Frenchman to get drafted?
Close enough.
Okay.
I have to go her. I mean, come on. This is a man's worst nightmare. And for multiple reasons, right? So you got a lot of guys who they would hate if their wife was cheating on them with the Brazilian jiu-jitsu teacher for their family.
Yeah.
But to make it worse, imagine you're Tom Brady and you're the greatest quarterback ever. You feel like you're on top of the world. You're riding your high horse. And to be humbled in such the worst way.
It's bad. It's bad. I'm going to hit my last one real quick. Zay, you can do your last one real quick. Then we got to hit it before we do our last segment, wrapping up the NBA draft. I'm going to go, while not a wife murderer, one of the most prolific adulterers in the history of the world, Tiger Woods allegedly cheated on his wife more than 120 times. That's so many.
Yeah.
How can you be the greatest golfer in the world, traveling around, and you're still able to cheat that much? It is wild. Zay, who do you got last?
I'm going to go my boy, and it's unfortunate I have to claim him, but I've done it too much to go back now. But Ryan Garcia has not been the best partner in the past to his wife. And he one time cheated on his pregnant wife. And then most recently, I think it was the day of the birth of his child, broke up with his partner.
Oh, that's awful.
She has the baby, and he broke up with her immediately after.
There's some awful people out there. Luckily, I9 Sports isn't one of them. When we get back, NBA draft recap and reaction, and then we're out of here for the day.
All right.
Tune in on 95.9 F from AM6 and News Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by FEMA. The Hurricane and fire devastated homes, businesses, and lives across northern New Mexico. If you were affected, you may be
Well, the program today, Duke City, thanks for bearing with us. We got a little off schedule with our NBA draft reactions. Zay, well done today. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you. You're very easy to do a show.
Well, you know, I'm kind of the best in the biz, most talented guy in the history of the world. What can I say? Humble as well. San Antonio with the 8th pick coming up now. Appreciate you, friend of the show. Check us out at Sadie's tomorrow. Zay will be back. I will be back. We're going to have some special friends of the show showing up with us. Don't miss a second of the opening drive tomorrow, and stay safe out there, Bouquet.
Clear.